Thank you. Afternoon, Andrew. I know everyone will say you don't want it to get into a track meet, but how do you ensure it's a little bit more of a tight checking affair today?
Stay on top of their forwards with speed. I think obviously McDavid kind of drives that offense just from his speed. Even when you have the puck in the offensive zone, you're almost like making sure that you're putting it deep and making safe plays because he can beat you with that speed so quickly. So we were almost a little bit too conscious of it and almost gave him too much space. I think we need to be a little bit more aggressive. So he's a great player. You gotta be aware of him for sure. But we gotta find a way to be on the puck a little bit better and be a little bit more aggressive.
We'll go next to Kelly Moore from CJOB. Go ahead, Kelly.
Hey, Andrew, I know you're not playing center right now, but you're taking a lot of faceoffs. I think you had a season high 11 on Monday night. I'm just wondering the familiarity with the linesmen, because they're staying within the division. A guy like Michel Cormier is going to be in his 7th game against the Jets tonight. Does that help a little bit on the toss outs and also on reading how that linesman is dropping the puck?
It can either help or it can hurt depending on your relationship with them. I try and be ultra respectful of the linesman, and obviously it's a tough job, so you don't want to get on them too bad when something goes awry. But I don't think there's maybe in the game you feel a little bit of a rhythm, but I think it's more how you're feeling yourself more so than being able to time different linesmen. So it definitely helps in terms of getting kicked out and whatnot to have a good relationship with the linesman, but it's more rhythm in game than it is game to game.
And we'll go next to Sarah Orleski from TSN. Go ahead, Sarah.
Hey, Andrew, maybe you answered this with Ken's question about when you mentioned aggressiveness, but just wondering, what is the Winnipeg Jets kind of ideal game plan when going against the Oilers? Just not in terms of how to contain them, but just in the style of play that you guys need to play to have success.
Well, I think it needs to be puck possession in their zone. Like, we want to make sure that Draisaitl, McDavid, are defending most of the night. So I think, when we've had success in the past, whether it's Scheif's line or Lauz's line or kind of whoever, the more that we make them play in their own end, the more that we make them defend, the more frustrated they're going to get, and the more opportunities we're going to have. So I think the strength of our game has always kind of been puck possession. Now it's kind of changed a little bit over the years, but the more we can make them defend and play in their end, and not make too many high risk plays, the better off we're going to be.
And we'll go next to Jeff Hamilton from the Winnipeg Free Press. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I just want to pivot to Paul Stastny. Just want to know your feelings or your thoughts, rather. What have you come to appreciate about Paul as a player on the ice and as a person off of it?
How much time do you have? Paul and I have a great relationship. I think on the ice, you really value his hockey IQ first and foremost, his ability to understand what's going on in the game and make plays accordingly. And, the puck support that you get from him, the communication on the bench. He's just a great person to have in the room in terms of just his hockey mind and playing off of guys. And he allows guys to be themselves, and he makes everyone better. He kind of makes up for any deficiency any one player might have, and just kind of lets them play to their strengths. So, and then off the ice, just super smart, always, whether it's even hockey related or not, super intelligent conversation, thought provoking, just a great addition to our room for this year. And obviously he's very familiar in the room, but I could go on.
We'll go next to Mike McIntyre from the Free Press. Go ahead, Mike.
Afternoon, Andrew. Just wanted to ask about the lack of crowds and maybe the lack of true home ice advantage this year. We've seen a lot of games with big swings in momentum or score changes. You guys get the big lead the other day. Edmonton comes back. That's a game where maybe if there's a crowd, you've completely taken the crowd out of it. Edmonton's comeback would have got their crowd going. We see Ottawa the other night, come back huge against Toronto. Do you think that that's a product of no fans in the stands, so that you don't have that crowd maybe affecting momentum one way or another?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I definitely think so. I think that just in terms of carrying over momentum, like momentum can get stopped so easily now with just one play. And like when you're, if you're at home and you're up, you just score to go up 4-1 and the crowd's buzzing a little bit, like it's more than one play that it takes for that crowd to get quiet. So, yeah, like in the beginning, it's funny, like we were, from the bubble, like it's like, okay, like we're starting to get used to it, but now it's starting to get a little old. Like we're really missing the fans. The environment that this game creates is so special. It's obviously we're doing all the right things, but once I'm really looking forward to that day when those gates open back up and we get such great facilities and great rinks filled with passionate fans. And I don't know, I really hope that they're ready to go and be very, very loud after all this time. So, we're doing as best we can in terms of keeping, energy up on the bench. And I think we found a way to do that, but it is getting to that point where it's like, okay, when's everyone coming back?
And final question to Ken Weaver from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Weaver.
Just shifting over to Mason Appleton, Andrew. I mean, there's some parallels in terms of growth, in terms of your game and his. What's been like to see him add that offensive element and to see him kind of rewarded for his hard work, similarly to how you have been?
Yeah, awesome. I mean, he's even going back to when him and Lemieux played together, and we went on a long stretch of really good hockey and productive hockey. Grew an appreciation for his game and kind of knew that, especially with Rosie not here, and he was going to have an opportunity to really solidify himself and on that third line to start. And he's been fantastic. He's strong, he's fast, he's on the puck, he's smart, and he's got offensive instincts that I learned to really appreciate when I played with him. So yeah, I mean, I think that happens a lot. It's just as guys continue to grow in like it's always been there. He didn't all of a sudden develop this overnight. He's always been a player that could. It's just kind of a matter of getting in the right situation and working hard to earn Paul's trust in particular. That kind of needs to happen over time. And now he's in a spot where he's a really important part of our team, especially on the penalty kill too. He's been great there. So yeah, a lot of parallels. Hopefully continues to get better and improve, because he's been great for us and was only going to continue to get better.
Thanks very much, Andrew.